When your dog brings home a bobcat and refuses to let go, everyone thinks it's a mistake. But no one could have imagined what happened next. Before we start, make sure to hit like and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. The sun had just begun to spill golden light across the backyard, bathing everything in a warm, sleepy glow. Sarah sipped her coffee on the porch, watching the gentle sway of the trees. Her loyal German shepherd, Max, sat beside her, ears twitching at the distant rustle of leaves. It was an ordinary morning, quiet, predictable, and calm. But then, Max's head snapped up. Without warning, he bolted toward the tree line, paws kicking up soft clumps of grass. Sarah frowned. He never ran off without a reason, especially not this early. She stood, coffee forgotten, and called his name, but he didn't slow. Moments later, she caught a glimpse of him re-emerging from the woods. Something large and furry dangled from his mouth. At first, she thought it was just another one of his finds, a stick, maybe a stuffed toy. But as he drew closer, her heart began to pound. As Max bounded closer, Sarah's breath caught in her throat. The thing in his mouth wasn't a toy at all, it was alive. Its golden, spotted fur shimmered in the sunlight, and its tufted ears twitched weakly. Sarah froze, unable to process what she was seeing. A bobcat. Her mind raced. Every instinct told her to panic, to yell, to rush forward and pull Max away. But something stopped her. The wild animal wasn't struggling, hissing, or clawing. Instead, it hung limply in Max's gentle grip, like a kitten carried by its mother. Max approached with calm determination, setting the bobcat down at Sarah's feet. The creature blinked slowly, its sides heaving with shallow breaths. Sarah's fear was replaced by something unexpected, a strange, undeniable sense that whatever had just happened was no accident. Max had found this bobcat for a reason, and he wasn't about to let it go. Sarah's first instinct was to step forward and scoop the bobcat away, but Max moved subtly, placing himself between her and the animal. His posture wasn't aggressive, just firm, protective. His eyes locked on hers as if to say, "Trust me." The bobcat shifted slightly, emitting the faintest whimper, and Sarah noticed something she hadn't before. Its back leg was bent unnaturally, matted with dried blood. Her heart clenched. This wasn't a predator Max had captured, it was a wounded creature he was guarding. Max's tail wagged once, slow and deliberate, before he lowered his head toward the bobcat. The message was clear, he's under my care. Sarah glanced around the yard. The world felt strangely still, like even the wind was waiting to see what happened next. Somewhere deep inside, Sarah knew, this moment wasn't a battle between species. It was the start of something extraordinary. Sarah slowly crouched, her hands open at her sides, speaking in the calmest voice she could manage. "It's okay, Max. I'm not going to hurt him." Max's ears twitched, but he didn't move. His body was still a protective wall, his gaze never leaving her face. The bobcat blinked slowly, its breathing shallow, sides rising and falling in uneven rhythm. For a moment, its golden eyes met hers, and Sarah felt a wave of something unexpected, trust. She wasn't sure from which one of them it came. Max glanced down at the bobcat, then back at Sarah, as though weighing her intentions. Then, with a quiet huff, he stepped aside, not far, but enough to give her space. That tiny movement felt monumental. It was as if Max had just handed her the key to a locked door, trusting her to open it without causing harm. The air shifted. They were on the same side now. Sarah inched forward, her knees pressing into the damp grass. Max stayed close, a silent guardian, his steady breathing the only sound she could hear besides her own heartbeat. She extended her hand slowly, palm up, letting the bobcat take in her scent. The little creature's whiskers twitched, and its ears flicked back, not in aggression, but in uncertainty. Its fur was matted, and Sarah could see faint scars beneath the dirt. For a moment, it hesitated, then, with trembling caution, its nose brushed her fingertips. A spark passed between them, one of fragile trust. Sarah felt her throat tighten. "You're safe now," she whispered, her voice breaking. Max gave a quiet whine, lowering his head beside hers as if to reassure the bobcat too. In that single, tender moment, the three of them were bound together, not by species, but by understanding. Something had changed forever. Sarah knew she couldn't leave the bobcat there. Its frail body told her it wouldn't survive another night in the wild alone. She removed her jacket and gently wrapped it around the trembling creature. Max stood beside her, tail swaying slowly, as though approving her decision. The bobcat didn't resist. Its head rested against Sarah's arm, eyes half closing in exhaustion. She rose to her feet, cradling it carefully, and started the long walk back toward the village. Max padded ahead, clearing the path, but glanced back often to make sure they were still following. The sun was dipping low, casting the forest in amber light. Every step felt heavy, not from the weight in her arms, but from the gravity of what she'd just done. She didn't know what awaited them. Vets, authorities, maybe even trouble, but one thing was certain. She wasn't turning back. When Sarah finally reached her small cabin at the edge of the village, she carefully set the bobcat down on a thick blanket near the fireplace. Max immediately trotted over, sniffing the animal's fur, then sat protectively beside it. The bobcat's breathing was shallow, but its eyes followed Max's movements with surprising calm. Sarah expected tension, maybe even aggression, but instead, the wild creature seemed comforted by the dog's presence. It shifted slightly, curling into the blanket, its tail twitching faintly. Sarah quickly prepared a shallow bowl of water and placed it within reach. To her amazement, the bobcat drank without hesitation. Max didn't move away, as if silently assuring the frightened creature that it was safe. Watching them, Sarah felt a strange warmth settle over her. Whatever story had led this unlikely pair to her doorstep, she knew it was only just beginning. Over the next few days, Sarah watched something extraordinary unfold. Max refused to leave the bobcat's side, sleeping on the floor beside the blanket, often resting his head gently near the wild cat's paw. The bobcat, in turn, began to relax, its tense body softening, eyes no longer darting with fear. Sarah noticed small signs of trust forming. When she brought food, the bobcat didn't flinch. Sometimes, it even waited until Max took the first bite before eating itself, as though following his lead. At night, Sarah would hear the soft, steady rhythm of two different breathing patterns, one deep and steady, the other quiet and cautious, yet somehow in sync. It was in those quiet moments she realized this wasn't just about rescue. Something deeper was happening. Against every instinct nature had given them, predator and protector were choosing each other. And Sarah knew that choice would change everything. If you were moved by this incredible story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an amazing tale like this. Stay with us for more heartwarming and unbelievable stories.